Hello and welcome to Learning in Small Bites 02. This video is about organisation structures and how they can be set up in some HR systems, and also why they are very, very important. Let's click on Structure and away we go. We have created a fictitious organisation called the University of Small Bites. It is actually fictitious, it does not exist. On this page, we introduce you to the information box, or info box as I'll refer to it. Here you find general, extra, and technical information on the topic in question. Also, some content can be found in the help file, which can be accessed here. The help page gives a key to the organisation chart. It explains the major symbols and icons that we use in this module. Please notice the folder icon. This appears where there is an organisation unit that can be expanded to reveal subunits. HR systems will often have an organisation structure that depicts all of the services or units of an organisation. At the point of writing, the fictitious University of Small Bites has 6 specialist unit areas, each of which is made up of subunits or child units. Now, let's look at the support service area. It has 8 subunits, 7 of which have further subunits, and then there's a Vice Chancellor's office that stands alone and has no subunits. Again, please notice the folder icons. These appear when a unit has subunits or child units. Clicking on a folder icon opens it and shows the child units, and a click on an open folder closes it. This practice of navigating through an organisation structure can be described as drilling down through the structure. Let's close Corporate Support Services and look at Arts and Humanities. Here we see 6 units, 3 of which have subunits, and 3 of which do not have subunits. Another piece of functionality is that you can click on Expand All, and as you'll notice, all of the units in the organisation expand, showing themselves and their sub or child units, like so. To collapse all of the units again, go back up to the top and click on Collapse All, and all of the units return to their original states. If this were a full product in a real production environment, it would be possible to view further and better details of each unit. For example, let's look at the imaginary computer law service. Click on the magnifying glass icon this time. In a real organisation, there might be such information as the head of computer law, the address of the department, as well as its constituent units, which you can see here. This level of detail has not been built into this system, but I hope the concept is demonstrated. We could theoretically drill down into each unit of an organisation. Why is all of this important? The structure, in essence, is a database, technical level representation of the real world, or as best as we can achieve in columns and rows. When we move into the next section on recruiting new staff, we will see that in an HR system, staff jobs are advertised by specific areas of the organisation. If you apply for a role in arts, then you will be in that unit rather than corporate support services or some other unit. The service head responsible for work in a particular unit is the person designated as head of that area. If information is needed on a particular area of the organisation within a computer system, then a database will be queried for all of the information in a particular area. For example, someone could ask, how many staff are there in the whole of the organisation? And the database will perform a query that counts every person in the University of Small Bites and each of its subunits. Alternatively, if the question was, how many staff are there in computer law, then the HR system would be queried for the count of every person in computer law and its subunits. This type of logic could also relate to, for example, the wage bill for a particular area, ratios of staff to students, and so on. I have been hugely simplistic here, but hope that the principle at least is understood. Because people are allocated to roles in units, it means decisions can be made about whole sections. Let's say, for example, a particular unit was to be transferred to another organisation. The only people that would be affected would be those who have posts in that area. Suddenly, the proper maintenance of the organisation structure has an effect on people's lives. Another interesting example of the use of the organisation structure can be access control. Think of the concept of an electronic ID card. When it is presented to an entry system, the system has to have some way of questioning what access rights the cardholder has for that particular area. Imagine a person in the medical school might have access to all medical labs, but their colleagues in the arts and humanities might be denied access. Equally, a person working in security services might need access to every building in the whole of the organisation. This is an example of how a properly controlled organisation structure can be used to support access control systems. We are now beginning to see the principles of how an HR system can integrate with other organisation systems. Please note the way units and their constituents are highlighted as we move or hover over them. First, hover over the Faculty of Law, for example. See the purple background which shows the area of the law faculty. Then see how hovering against the unit within that faculty changes the background, again to show the area of that unit. In addition to being an interesting colour scheme, this also shows how administrative access or data protection can be managed. Think of it this way. If an administrator is responsible for sensitive information in an area, then their scope or jurisdiction can be controlled by where their post sits in the organisation structure. So, for example, an administrator in, let's say, international law would only see staff details for that area and none of the others. But an administrator in a post at the Faculty of Law level would be able to deal with records for anyone in the whole of that particular faculty, but again, nowhere else. This shows, I hope, how a well-maintained structure helps with data security and administrative roles-based access. When information is stored in electronic systems, it really must be locked down and access only given to those in roles that allow access to that area and that area alone. Later on, when we look at some sensitive personal data, this will become clearer. In the next video, we'll be looking at how to create a job specification as part of the new staff process, and I will be delighted to hand over to my colleague Lorraine. Until then, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.